Hey there. This is Holly with Dancing with Divergence. Dancing with Divergence is something that I've just recently started, and I'm still kind of working out sort of my main ideas around what I like to communicate to everyone. But what I will say is that I've been a therapist for 24 years, and my experience of being a therapist as a neurodivergent human is that sometimes the structures can create barriers for people who just experience the world differently. And so the intention with this series is really to just soften some of the boundaries that would be there in a traditional therapist role. So with that said, this isn't therapy. Primarily, I'm seeking to just be a neurodivergent human, um, kind of seeking to live out life in front of folks and learning how to practice just the process of unmasking and perhaps not editing as much to try to get through the day. So, I wanted to talk just for a few minutes today about masking and editing as I move forward with this project. Um, yeah, right there. There was an In my first video, there were ums. And I'm pretty sure that those are actually more than just space fillers. I think that's actually one way in which I stim when I'm doing a stressful new thing, like putting some videos out there, right? And so, from my point of view, what is challenging being a neurodivergent human in this world is finding this balance between um, like being able to improve how we do things and how we go about the world, about our lives in the world, uh, while also perhaps just not taking on all the extra strain that's required to manage I do describe it as like the extraness that comes with my nervous system as a neurodivergent human. And so I think most of us could relate to this, like kind of going out for a social event. Today, I was just in a Zoom group meeting, and I knew that my energy was a bit big. And, the reality is that we have to learn how to be present with ourselves when we know that things feel off. And sometimes I think part of what's so stressful is it's not just that. We bring some intensity. I think that's sort of the nature of neurodivergence. It's that extra layer of stress of then being self-conscious about having big energy or being afraid that yet again someone's gonna like interpret it as something other than maybe what it is. So like one of the things today was just and I'm not sure that anyone was thinking this, but I felt like I needed to clarify the difference between seriousness and intensity, right? Sometimes I have someone who is passionate and has some pretty, I just have some extra energy, right? It just kind of comes with my variety of neurodivergence. And, in future videos, I'll spell that out a little bit more, what I think's in my neurodivergent bucket. But for now, I think I'm just wanting to acknowledge that sometimes intensity just comes with the territory. And when it comes to like our choices to unmask or how much energy we spend editing, I think there is sort of this basic idea that most neurodivergent humans probably spend a lot more energy just managing, right? Managing not just the fact that my energy might have been a bit big in a group, but then managing all the thoughts that come after it. And so in this video series, part of my intention for the video series is to just practice being Holly in front of people. And frankly, even though I'm a therapist and I've been an educator for a long time, when I soften those roles, which I can do quite well, frankly, uh, but when I soften those roles and I'm not just like over adjusting and adapting for everyone, and I give folks some room just to see me, that's pretty scary. And I imagine I'm not alone when that process of just figuring out how to go through life in a way that's not quite as effortful, right? Where you're not only working hard in the moment to try to manage the social situation, you may also have had to manage the anticipation going into the social situation, and then having to manage sort of like kind of how you're feeling on the back end, whether it's just because of the social encounter or the sensory overwhelm or whatever you might be dealing with. So, I don't think I'm probably sharing anything that's particularly new for folks who have intensity in their nervous systems or yeah, who have some mix of ADHD and anxiety, maybe giftedness, autoimmune disorders. I call them like I feel like we're all like the straight A students, right? Advanced learner, autoimmune, autism, anxiety, ADHD. We're all straight A students, no matter how we did in school. And anyways, I'm just sort of using a lot of words to say that in this video series, I might work on, I'm a slow adapter to technology. Don't love it. And yet I really do want to do this little passion project. So, but I don't think I'm going to, I think I'm going to leave the ums. I think I'm going to choose to not edit how I'm presenting in these videos. So, because that's sort of the meta of it, right? That's sort of the point is that we all need a little bit more room to just be as we are. And that's really kind of what I want to say maybe model. It's what I want to model. That's how I want to show up. Let me put it that way. Is I want to show up as Holly, um, Holly who's got some my neurodivergence, but just primarily actually as Holly. As I said in the first video, part of what's been helpful for my own healing hasn't necessarily been like the clinical. I mean, the categories help, I guess some, but mainly like what helps me is when I feel met and seen and or like when another person just shows up with authenticity and in a human way. And so I'm not saying I'm great. I've spent a whole lifetime masking. I'm really good at it actually. If I do say so myself. But I just really, yeah, like in that moment, I feel a little awkward. Like let the awkwardness be. Just let the ums be. Because I think we all deserve for things to be easier. You heard that if you watched my first video. So I'm gonna let this kind of YouTube journey be um kind of have its own authentic and organic path. And frankly, I'm gonna find ways to not work harder than I need to at it, just so I can show up and be present with you. So, yeah, you might have to deal with some ums, or my fidgetiness that pops up sometimes, or times when my voice can get loud, or my enunciation is not always clear. Because I sort of just want you to see me. And I hope in that, not that everyone's going to relate to my lived experience. My hope, actually, like my dream would be that many folks, and there are already many folks out there doing this, but that we would all feel a lot more comfortable in just learning to practice authenticity. And I guess like this setting, this YouTube world, this social media world might actually have some perks for those of us who sometimes get a little stressed out with too much direct social interaction. So, anyways, all that to say, um, take what's helpful for you and leave the rest. And I'm probably not going to be editing these videos in any significant way because I just sort of want to see you like I want to be not see you. I sort of just want to be present in this process. And hopefully that my awkwardness will actually be something that you ironically kind of relate to. All right. It's like I'm in Colorado. It's like 100 degrees out there. Like literally it's 100 degrees out there. I'm feeling the warmth right now. So I'm calling it. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you take very good care of yourself and you are worthy of being seen and cared for and tended to. And you are worthy of being exactly who you are. Okay? Take care.